And they send the associates divide it up and call themselves the internal revenue, while black people do not have a place to live. And then they call us subhuman, and then they issue us alien card into our planet, okay? When they are not from here, they came from another planet, okay? Now, all this was done by one man. I'll get to him in a minute. Because of the filthiness that they were fed, that the people were fed, that put them out of boundary with the Lord. You see, when you're going into spiritual things, it is so deep that it takes you one, in all different directions. And Satan didn't walk at it. When I was writing the book, His Imperial Majesty kept me down to even heads. Even though aids to take out black people through the Bible. That's how I know that the Bible, especially for them, it's a spiritual thing. Okay? They also become hidden. They became hidden because of those things that, for example, there are other entities that live on this planet with us, and they live around us, disguised in the human form. When the Lord looked down and He saw His people, everybody look alike, everyone look alike, so He don't know them. They become hidden because you are what you eat. So when they feed you the animal, they transform you from a person to an animal. Moreover, we are the temple of the Most High. He don't eat spirit. He don't eat sacrificial meat. In the Bible, in the book of Revelation.
So how they talk about how they sacrifice all these meat to God? So who was them that they were sacrificing? People in the past?
Because
in the ancient times.
They live off blood sacrifices. Here. They live off blood sacrifice. See? They bring in sacrifice for you to believe that when they kill somebody, it is okay. They live off blood sacrifice because they are vampires. They live off our energy. This is a book called The Sun and the Moon. And I'm going to read what the woman said. I'm going to get back to this in a minute.
What's the name of the book?
It is called The Sun and the Moon.
Okay.
I didn't get to it yet, but It said in reality we live as if we are really alive while we are dead. This is one thing that you can't do in a fairy tale. So it is not true that in fairy tales everything is possible unless you are a fairy tale character yourself. You don't open a book of fairy tale and the whole world is never born. That's because when you look around, the people that are in the world, none of them never born. They came from appearance. If you look up the word incarnate, I did look up the word. Here it is. It says, the word incarnate says, endowed with a body, especially a human body in the human form. Now, the word endowed means something given. It's a donation. When somebody endowed you with something, they give you something. These people were made by scientists. I have books that can prove that they were made by scientists, even in the same book. They were talking about, he said here, do you think that I get my light? He said, do you think that my light comes only from you? If I decide to shine elsewhere, where would you be? This is typically moon language because the moon does receive all his lights from the sun. Therefore, live in constant fear while the sun, the great source of light, is by this very fact both blind and generous. You know what they say, blind and generous? Mean them a walk around using our energy and we are idiot. We don't know nothing. You know what I mean? It says, and this anger the moon all the more. Everybody can be a moon. But the question, here how they're fresh. But still the question arises, who is the moon? Or the sun or the moon here? Adults will not ask such question, but only children will. I'm getting back to this for a minute. Because you are what you eat, so that they took control of the globe for the purpose of feeding us. That's why they took control of the globe, because they know that we are the children of the sun. Every time we walk out into the sun remove their witchcraft. They notice that poison cannot kill us because they've been feeding us poison, and they see that the sun is really taking care of us. So now for them to control our system is for them to feed your dead flesh, because now they know that that is really out of the boundary, because the Lord don't deal with blood. Okay? And they only live off a blood sacrifice. I was reading in a book last night about Jesus, and I'm going to get to him in a minute because he's the one. Yeah. Father Enoch suggested to Father Abraham that the only way to free the Ethiopian continent and her people is to remove them from among all nations. That's how I know that there's only one nation belong to the earth. Because when I went there, it was only one nation behind Father Abraham, and the multitude that I saw, I couldn't count them even if I tried, and they were all of one complexion, our complexion. Okay. It was in that way. Father Enoch says to remove them from among all nations. In that way, no one will be over them to control them and to poison them. Then they will finally be healed. So when you speak to some of them, they said that you're out of your mind, but they don't know that they are the ones that are really sick, because otherwise Father Enoch couldn't say they would be finally healed. Thank you. These people winked at each other meaningly when one Roman housewife told another that those Christians kill little children every Sunday morning and drink the blood just to please their God, and suggested that the time had come to do something. So those are the people that are ruling over us, because it's the Catholic.
The established church. This is the book from the established church.
That is the book. That is from a book called The Story of the Bible.
Oh.
You see, it's on the head up there. Mm-hmm. And it is, as I was saying that all these things were done by one man, and I'm gonna get to him in a minute. But first, I would like the Ethiopian people mostly to see that this is not a physical thing, it is a spiritual thing. Mm-hmm. And it is not one thing was done to them, it's everything. I was reading in a book, and they said all the books on the planet, if you read all of them, it's not enough for the things that happen to the Indians, because the more science progress, like the more science get advanced, mm-hmm. is the worse that they become, because they are controlled by science. Here it says here, the island of St. Phyllis hold many secrets. It told the secret of the crimes and exploration of the early settlers. It holds the secret of the evil forces at work to keep the black native out of power. Okay? It's not one thing, it's everything. Okay? And for them to wake up, is only the Lord can help them. Because they are so far gone that when you speak to them, they say you're out of your mind. Mm-hmm. Because that is the plan of Mercury. Anytime the Lord wakes someone up, which is his imperial majesty, haile selassie I, when he wake you up, they said that you're out of your mind. Mm-hmm. Because as you can see, he coming through the cloud on his carriage with the symbol of the hospital on his shoulder. And it is reality, because the symbol, it is on this hospital here on our planet. Mm-hmm. And even on the sanitation, it is on the sanitation, so it is reality. So when they say that you're out of your mind, all they have to do is to take you to the hospital. Like for example, Bob Marley Singh is the one who wake up Jamaica people about his Imperial Majesty. And all of a sudden, he came down with cancer. Now, he was trying to get too deep, you know what I mean? That's how it is. When the Lord wake you up, they say you're out of your mind. So they take you to the hospital and they need a family member signature, proof of signature of approval to put you there so that they can assassinate you. Thank you, sir. I'm going back to the word incarnate. I would like to make a clear statement because people have to know their boundary. Heaven is our home and this is heaven. You cannot come into people's house and take them out of their house and then proclaim yourself as if it is yours. No, it doesn't work like that. Not up in heaven. The only person who has power up in heaven is the Ethiopian people, because we belong here. This is our home. The word incarnate says someone that was endowed with a body, especially a human body or in the human form. It says being in a living example of, a personification of. It says the flesh color are pink, red and rosy. Now, I would like you to zoom in on that if you can. Because you know what? I want them to see that we were not made. And here, this is the first lady. See, it says here the gods come together and decided that woman should be made. And they made this woman. This is the first woman. Her name is Pandora. In the Bible, her name is Eve. She's the one who brings all the evil up in heaven.